Welcome, fellow explorers of the unexplained, to Myth and Magic. I'm your host, Lore, and today we are soaring into the chilling and captivating legends of one of America's most iconic and enigmatic cryptids. I'm super excited about this particular cryptid. There's two that I love, and for some reason, Mothman is... I don't know why I really like Mothman. I love moths in general, at least they're a figure in an artistic sense. That Mothra in Godzilla is my absolute favorite. The newer ones, I haven't seen the older ones. I'll get to them someday. But I love Mothra. I love Mothman. And it's just, I'm really excited that we're talking about it today. So from flickering red eyes to a terrifying prophecy, the tale of this winged creature has gripped imaginations for decades. So dim the lights, grab your drinky drink and your warm socks or cozy socks, and prepare to venture into the shadows of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Our journey begins, as many good stories do, with a question of origin. And for the Mothman, that starts with its very name. The name Mothman itself is relatively modern. It was coined by a copy editor for the Athens Messenger newspaper, Mary Hire, in November 1966. She simply needed a catchy headline for the escalating reports of a strange winged creature in the Point Pleasant area. Before that, witnesses often described it as a bird-like creature, a man-sized bird, or even just the monster. The name Mothman stuck, evoking a creature of the night. Something insectoid yet human in its perceived scale. A lot like Tickman in the animated TV show I used to watch as a child, but more terrifying and less comedy. But while the name is modern, the phenomenon has roots that stretch back further, even if not directly connected to the Mothman legend specifically. Point Pleasant, situated at the confluence of the Ohio and Kanawha rivers, has long been a place steeped in folklore and historical conflict. It was the site of the Battle of Point Pleasant in 1774, often considered the first battle of the American Revolution, and has a history of unexplained occurrences. The specific timeline of the Mothman sightings, however, truly kick off in November 1966, and it didn't start with just one person. It started with several, almost simultaneously, all at the same time. Setting the stage for what would become a nationwide sensation. The birth of the Mothman legend, as we know it, is widely attributed to the night of November 15th, 1966. Two young couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette, were driving near an abandoned World War II TNT factory, a desolate and isolated area just outside Point Pleasant. This TNT area, a sprawling complex of concrete bunkers and overgrown paths, would become a reoccurring backdrop for many future encounters. As they drove, they noticed something standing by the roadside near the old power plant. At first, they thought it was just a large bird, perhaps an owl, but as they got closer, their headlights illuminated a creature unlike anything they had ever seen. It was bipedal, standing roughly 7 feet tall, with immense wings folded against its back. But what truly terrified them were its eyes. Two large glowing orbs that seemed to hypnotize and pierce the darkness. Kind of like these goggle things, with those round, not swimming goggles, because those are kind of like, I don't know, but like circular, just they are round orbs. Panicked, they sped away, reaching speeds of over 100 miles per hour, only to find the creature pursuing them. It allegedly kept pace with the car, flying overhead without effort. They eventually lost it and raced to the Mason County Courthouse, where they reported their harrowing encounter to Deputy Millard Halstead. Halstead, initially skeptical, followed them back to the TNT area, but found nothing. Very next night, on November 16th, another prominent sighting occurred. Marcella, I'm not sure, Bennett, with her infant son, was driving to visit friends, the Raymond Wamsley family, also near the TNT area. As she approached their home, she saw a large gray figure standing outside her car. Again, those distinctive glowing red eyes appeared. The creature then shuffled towards the car, startling Bennett, who quickly drove off. The Wamsleys, too, reported seeing the creature near their property. These initial, highly credible reports from multiple independent witnesses lit the fuse. News of the Birdman or Mothman spread like wildfire through the small community and soon beyond. Point Pleasant was on the map for something truly strange. So, what exactly does the Mothman look like? According to eyewitnesses, the descriptions are remarkably consistent, which adds a layer of intrigue to the legend. Most reports describe the creature roughly 6 to 7 feet tall, with a humanoid or broad, muscular torso, probably Dorito-like. Its most striking feature, undeniably, is its wings. These are often described as large, leathery, and bat-like, spanning an impressive 10 to 15 feet. When not in flight, they are said to fold tightly against its back. The color of its body is typically reported as gray or brown, sometimes even dark black, and often described as having a coarse, leathery texture or even being covered by fur. But the feature that truly distinguishes the Mothman, the one that ignites fear and fascination, are its eyes. They are consistently described as large, circular, and glowing bright red, sometimes said to be located on the chest or in a very prominent position on the head, rather than recessed like human eyes. There's often no clear head or neck described, just these piercing, hypnotic orbs. Some witnesses even reported seeing no discernible arms or legs, just a bulky torso with wings and these dominant eyes. Now let's talk about its personality, or perhaps more accurately, its demeanor. The Mothman isn't typically described as overly aggressive in way a predator might be. It doesn't attack people directly. Instead, its presence instills profound fear and unease. Witnesses often report a sense of being watched, of an intense, unnerving stare. Its encounters are usually brief. It appears often from above or suddenly by the roadside, observes, and then departs with incredible speed. There's a sense of calculated observation, almost as if it's assessing or surveying. This passive yet terrifying presence is a key characteristic. It's not a monster that chases you to rip you apart. It's a terrifying enigma that watches and then vanishes, leaving a lingering sense of dread. Some have even suggested its glowing eyes might have a hypnotic effect, or that its very presence causes electronic interference, further adding to its mysterious aura. Beyond its unsettling appearance, what capabilities does the Mothman possess according to the lore? Firstly, its flight. This one should be obvious. It has big wings that can carry its body. Witnesses consistently describe it as being incredibly fast and agile, easily keeping pace with speeding cars and maneuvering through the air with seemingly effortless grace. And it makes you wonder how the original couple was able to lose the Mothman. If Mothman does exist and they lost him, it was probably because he let them. It's often reported to fly silently or with only a faint hum or whoosh of air, defying the typical sound of a large bird. This silent, rapid flight contributes significantly to its unnerving nature. Kind of like in Jurassic Park, how the raptors are just like there. And it's over by the time you realize it. Now, the glowing red eyes are perhaps its most iconic power. These aren't just reflective eyes like in animals in headlights. They're described as self-luminous, projecting a deep, intense red light. Some theories suggest these eyes might be a form of communication, a warning, or even a way to disorient or hypnotize those who encounter it. Another particular attribute reported by witnesses is the effect it had on electronics. Car engines stalled, radios produced static, and televisions flickered in the presence of the Mothman. These electromagnetic interferences is a recurring theme in cryptid encounters, often linked to high strangeness phenomena. And what about its purpose? This is where the legend takes a darker, more prophetic turn. The most prominent theory linking the Mothman to a purpose revolves around the tragic collapse of the Silver Bridge on December 15th, 1967. This catastrophic event, which killed 46 people, occurred almost exactly 1 year after the initial Mothman sightings began. Many believe the Mothman was an omen, a harbinger of disaster, appearing to warn the residents of Point Pleasant about the impending tragedy. Its repeated appearances in the TNT area, then in other parts of the town, and its silent, observing nature are interpreted by some as attempts to alert or even protect the populace. This idea of a prophetic hybrid is a powerful aspect of the Mothman legend, distinguishing it from simple monster stories. Other theories suggest its purpose might be more extraterrestrial, an alien scout observing humanity, or even a dimensional traveler, a creature that slips in and out of our reality. Regardless of the interpretation, the idea of the Mothman as a bringer of warnings rather than a purely malevolent beast is central to its enduring mystique. The Mothman, particularly after the Silver Bridge collapse, transcended being just a local cryptid. It became a powerful symbol, entering the broader cultural consciousness. As a symbol, the Mothman represents the unknown, the liminal, spaces between our world and something beyond. It embodies fear, mystery, and the unsettling idea that there are things we cannot explain. Things that might be trying to communicate with us from the fringes of our understanding. For many, it's also a symbol of impending doom, a modern-day banshee or grim reaper, a chilling reminder of the fragility of life. Its depictions are varied, but always feature those iconic eyes and large wings. You'll find it in illustrations, fan art, and even official merchandise, often rendered in dark, shadowy tones to emphasize its nocturnal nature. The TNT area, with its abandoned bunkers and desolate landscapes, also plays a symbolic role representing the isolation and eeriness associated with the creature. The Mothman's biggest leap into pop culture came with the publication of John Keel's 1975 book, The Mothman Prophecies. Keel, a ufologist and paranormal investigator, spent a significant amount of time in Point Pleasant in 1967, interviewing witnesses and documenting the strange occurrences. His book meticulously chronicled the sightings, the strange phone calls, the men in black, and the culminating tragedy of the Silver Bridge. It was the book that solidified the Mothman's place in the pantheon of American cryptids and introduced the prophecy aspect to a wider audience. The book was later adapted into a successful 2002 film of the same name, The Mothman Prophecies, starring Richard Gere. While the film took liberties with the original story, it brought the Mothman to an even larger global audience, cementing its status as a chilling figure in horror and mystery. Beyond the major film, the Mothman has appeared in countless other forms of media. In video games, it's often featured as an enemy or an Easter egg in horror and survival games. Most notably, you can encounter the Mothman as a creature within Fallout 76, where it even has a Wise Mothman variant. Another game directly exploring the legend is Mothman 1966, a visual novel that blends historical sightings with a unique retro aesthetic. In television, you have documentaries, paranormal investigation shows, and even animated series which have featured the Mothman. For documentaries, you can consider watching The Mothman of Point Pleasant, 2017 project, and The Mothman Legacy 2020 by Small Town Monsters, which delve deep into the original events and subsequent lore. It has also been featured in episodes of shows like PBS's Monstrum and animated series like Netflix's Inside Job. It continues to inspire authors in literature, so authors of horror, sci-fi, and speculative fiction beyond John Keel's foundational work. You can find other fictional takes such as Novel in Verse, Dear Mothman by Robin Gao, which explores themes of grief and identity through the cryptid lens, or various entries in the monster romance subgenre like those found on Goodreads under Mothman tags. Did you know that existed? Because I did not. How interesting. Okay. Music. Bands have written songs inspired by the legend, contributing to its mystique. While no single mainstream hit comes to mind, artists across genres have paid homage. The soundtrack to the Mothman Prophecies film, for example, features eerie, atmospheric tracks by artists like Low and Tom and Dandy that perfectly capture the unsettling vibe of the legend. Independent artists and smaller bands in the horror, punk, and folk rock scenes also frequently reference cryptids, including the Mothman, in their work. And of course, Point Pleasant itself has fully embraced its cryptid claim to fame. In fact, it's probably the only reason why I would want to go visit, I think. They have a Mothman museum, a Mothman festival held annually every September, and even a Mothman statue in the town square. This is a testament to how deeply ingrained the legend has become in the local identity and how it draws tourists and enthusiasts from around the world. That would be me. If you've ever been, let me know in the comments. Tell me about it. If you've been to the Mothman Festival especially, what's up? Did you have fun? The fascination with Mothman hasn't waned. In fact, the age of the internet and digital storytelling has arguably made it thrive more than ever. Modern interest in the Mothman continues to grow. Online communities, podcasts like this one, YouTube channels, and social media platforms are constantly discussing new theories, analyzing old evidence, and sharing their own interpretations. People are still visiting Point Pleasant hoping to catch a glimpse or at least feel the eerie atmosphere of the TNT area. The what if factor, the possibility that such a creature could exist, remains a powerful draw. From an artistic perspective, the Mothman provides rich material for creators. Its striking visual characteristics, those glowing red eyes, the vast wingspan, the shadowy form, it makes it highly adaptable to various art forms. The ambiguity of the Mothman's existence allows for boundless interpretation and creative expression. Is it a cryptid? Is it an alien? A spirit, a dimensional being, a mass hallucination, or simply a misidentified bird, perhaps a large owl. That'd be a really big owl. The lack of a definitive answer allows artists and storytellers to project their own fears, hopes, and theories onto the legend, ensuring its continued evolution. It's more than just a scary story. It's a narrative that touches on themes of warning, disaster, the unknown, and the limits of human perception. It reminds us that sometimes the most profound mysteries are not those with clear answers, but those that linger in the shadows, just beyond our grasp. Do you believe in the Mothman? Let me know. Are you an enthusiast like me who thinks, maybe? But I'm really just fascinated by the lore and the imagery and the storytelling, versatility, and opportunities that this creature brings. Of course, we're always talking about this stuff and learning about these creatures and gods and things so that we can use them in our own interpretations. You learn the true basic core of things, and then you decide how to make it your own. How do you turn it into your own story? And I've already got my head's already buzzing. I just love the Mothman. It's such a cool idea, such a cool creature, especially with the prophetic aspect that it brings to any kind of creative endeavor. But that brings us to the end of our journey on this particular cryptid. The other one that I'm really excited to discuss is one we'll probably get to next year. I already have all of autumn planned out. Autumn is a time for cryptids and weird things and that sort of stuff. So, but for now, we're going to close out. The Mothman, with its glowing red eyes and silent flight, continues to haunt the imaginations of millions, a winged sentinel whose true nature remains shrouded in the mist of time and folklore. Whether a creature of flesh and blood, an omen of disaster, or simply a fascinating piece of American folklore, its legend is undeniable. Are you going to write a story about it? Have you already written a story about it? Have you read any of the Mothman romances that are apparently there in the Goodreads tag? Have you seen the movie? I didn't even know it existed until I was doing my research. I'm really excited to make my husband watch it with me. I am dressed down, ready to go to the gym, and if we didn't have rehearsal tonight, we would probably be watching the Mothman movie. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed talking about the Mothman and that you are inspired by what we are doing, that you feel a part of the community, whether you are a creative or just here for fun. This is just for fun. So I hope you enjoyed yourself. Be the light in this world. We certainly need it. And I will see you all next time. Bye.